What is standard deviation? Standard deviation refers to the average distance that deviates from the mean value. It means the standard deviation is a number that shows how spread out or close the numbers in a group are compared to the average or the mean. When the standard deviation is large, it means the numbers are mostly far from the average. This group is called heterogeneous because the numbers are very different. On the other hand, when the standard deviation is small, it means the numbers are mostly close to the average. This group called homogeneous because the numbers are very similar.
To solve for the standard deviation of a set of data, we just have to find the square root of the variance. We have two formulas. This is the formula for the sample standard deviation, and this is the formula for population standard deviation. For example, we have the variance of a data set is 19.07. We have to find the standard deviation. To find the square root of the variance, we just have to copy the formula. This represents as the variance, which is 19.07. Just have to find the square root of 19.07, which is 4.3669, or to be rounded off, 4.37. The standard deviation is 4.37. For the formula of population standard deviation, we just have to do the same process, which we will copy the formula. Fill out the variance, which is 19.07. Find its square root, which is 4.3669, and to be rounded off, 4.37. The standard deviation is 4.37.
Let's now proceed to the coefficient of variation. It is used to compare two or more groups of distribution of scores. And this is the formula for computing the coefficient of variation. CV is equal to S over X times 100%, where the X is the mean value and S is the standard deviation. Now let's have an example. Find the coefficient of variation of the given data below. This is the section A and this is the formula. So yung formula natin ay CV is equal to S, which is the standard deviation, over X or the mean, times 100%. So, to solve this, yung S sa standard deviation natin is 2.12 and yung mean naman natin is 14. So, CV is equals to 2.12, which is yung standard deviation, over 14 yung mean, times 100%. So, yung result po is 15.42. So, yung coefficient variation natin sa section A is equal to 15.42%.
Section B. The mean is equal to 15.4. Standard deviation is equal to 3.16. To get the CV, this is the formula. CV equals S over mean times 100%. CV equals S standard deviation 3.16 over mean 15.4 times 100%.
The result of the CV for section B is equal to 20.52%.
Since we already solved the section A and section B of given data, let's proceed to the section C. First, we need to calculate the mean value the sum of a seat numbers from 12 to 19 divided by the total count of those numbers. So here's the formula: 12 plus 12 plus 13 plus 16 and plus 19, then divided by 5. So equals 14.4. Then we need to calculate it to the coefficient variation. So this is the formula of coefficient variation. CV is equals to now we need to copy the standard deviation, which is 3.16, then copy the total of mean value 14.4 times 100%. Then the total is 21.94%. Gets? Okay, so our analysis. Since the smallest coefficient variation is section A, it can be perceived that the scores in section A is less spread or scattered than the scores in section C. So in other words, scores in section A are more homogeneous than the score in section B and C. Yes. Then, since the largest coefficient variation is section C, it can be interpreted as the scores in section C is more spread than the scores in A and B. So in other words, scores in section C is more heterogeneous than the scores in section A and B. Okay, gets.